Crime, Wine, and Chaos contains adult language and graphic content. Listener discretion is advised.
We just keep on keeping on, Chaos Kids. I'm Amber.
And I'm Naomi, and this is Crime, Wine, and Chaos.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Just kidding. Yeah, it is.
just for the record, you guys, Amber kind of hates the podcast right now.
I don't hate the podcast. I do not hate. I've never hated the podcast.
No. It's just very low on the priority list. And look, I get it. Like, this is a labor of love. So if you guys don't, anyone who doesn't, I'm going to reiterate this. Anyone who doesn't know this, like, we do not get paid when you stream us on the platforms that you stream on. Like, we actually pay in order for our podcast to be streamed on all the platforms that you might be listening to us on. The only money we make is through our Patreon, which is small but mighty.
That's right.
Because you Chaos Kids Club members are mighty, and we adore you, and we love you, and we thank you, and we appreciate all of the listeners. But yeah, we're doing this because we love it. We're doing it for the love of the game, you guys. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes, because this isn't our main source of income, it has to go to the bottom of the list because life takes priority.
Life be lifin'.
So hard.
I haven't
so
even
hard
been to
right now.
band practice in 3 weeks.
Are you even allowed to be in the band anymore then?
Yes.
Just kidding.
Oh my God.
She's out.
No. Life be lifin'.
For real. It's a rough season of transition all around.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing the best we can, kids. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, we are. Speaking of the kids, we've got 4 newbies.
4 new Chaos Kids Club members.
Holy shit. They didn't know what they were signing up for.
They really didn't.
They're like, great, I sign up and now you're fucking petering out. We're not petering out.
We're not petering out. We're just taking a breather, okay? Mm-hmm. Breaths need to be taken.
And you know what? You guys might not even notice. You probably won't even notice because that's how we do.
We're going to try.
You want me to list these fucking
yes,
cool-ass
let's
people off?
welcome these cool-ass people.
We've got Caitlin M.
Hello, Caitlin. Yes.
M. We got Chloe B.
Chloe B.
Chloe B also sent a story suggestion.
Oh, excellent. Oh, she is right up in the mix.
That's
now,
right.
isn't she?
Let me get in there. We've got Morticia M.
Morticia, I know who you are. So glad to have you.
I love that you're using the name Morticia. You've come to the right place.
100%.
And I think this was a former club member returned, Scott N.
Oh, Scott. Yes.
Yeah.
Scott is very chatty over on the Patreon where anyone can go and be chatty. So, if you're not a member, you can still go to the Patreon and be an unpaid member and get in on the conversation over there.
And we will chat back. Ask Scott. We chat.
Oh, we chat.
That's right. I will listen to what you're saying. I will even go and try and clarify what you're saying. Like, we go all in over here.
We are here for you.
That's right.
And then we also got another amazing 5-star review on the Apple Podcast app from a new listener who's also another mutual of mine over on the TikTok platform. Goes by Commie Trucker.
That's amazing.
And it's the title of the review is both hilarious and unnerving. He says, I just started the show recently and it has quickly become a favorite. I am not a true crime fan. And this kind of content has never been especially appealing to me, yet the hosts are so charming, engaging, and hilarious. I have found it truly enjoyable. They seamlessly deliver the horrors with the humor in a very satisfying way that never minimizes or trivializes the trauma involved. Very down-to-earth and kind people. I highly recommend.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
We needed that this week.
We so needed that.
We'll take
this
it.
week.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll take it wherever we can get it at this point.
Oh my God. Oh, I wanted to. Well, I'm going to read a listener story that was sent in from one of our Chaos Kids, but also I wanted to show you my wine today. This is such a cool freaking bottle. And it's called Sleight. It's from Sleight of the Hand Cellars from Columbia Valley. And the wine is called the Spellbinder.
Okay. Is that Houdini on the front?
Yeah. And it says Simply Magical Wines. Isn't that cool? But
that's really cool.
My new neighbor, Dallas, brought it over and left it on my front porch.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
How neighborly.
So
I love that.
Thanks, Dallas. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Is that, but you're not drinking that right now.
Not right now. I'm on a lunch break. I mean, although I would like to pop on to the next Teams meeting, like slightly happier, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Okay, so I've got a great listener story sent in by Jenny A that I'm going to read to you, if that's
Okay.
all right. Okay, so it says, this is a story I shared to a podcast called The Shallow End. If you haven't, y'all should definitely check them out, but I thought you gals might enjoy this as well. Here's a story I wanted to share that might be a short dip in the shallow end. You can use my name, but all other names have been fictionalized. Here's my adventure. Picture it. Western Colorado, 1996-ish. I'm a 22-ish young lady working at a large and popular liquor store in my hometown. I was friendly with all the customers and had made friends with a guy named Kyle. Kyle was ex-military, not sure what branch, and he was a pilot. He came in on a random Tuesday and asked if I wanted to go on a day trip to Greeley, Colorado to pick up a broken plane to bring back the next day. Me being young and dumb said, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's 1996. We're in that window, Amber. We're in that window, that sweet spot in the 90s when everything was fine.
Yeah, well, or when we thought it was.
We thought it was.
Ignorance was bliss in the 90s. Mm-hmm. He said, meet me at 5 a.m. We'll be home by 6-ish. Little did I know this would be a Wednesday I would never forget, except the exact date of it, evidently. Any hoozle, going on this trip is another pilot and an aircraft mechanic. So far, this 4-seater airplane is the largest aircraft I've ever been on. Takeoff was beautiful. Flying over the Rocky Mountains is something I highly recommend to everyone, by the way. No excitement at all, just gorgeous peaks. Until we are over Fort Collins, Colorado, which, if you're not familiar with, is not a huge airport, at least not where this adventure starts to get interesting. So here we are flying over a quaint Colorado town when we start losing altitude fast. I asked Kyle what was happening, but he wasn't sure. We didn't have headphones. Next thing I know, we're landing on what could be described as a runway in a junkyard. Oh my God. We get out. The mechanic looks over the airplane to discover we lost a mag. I apologize. I don't know the correct terminology. I was told it's similar to a carburetor. The mechanic calls the airport in Greeley to have a mag driven to us so we can get back in the air. Takes a couple hours, so we get lunch, fix the issue, and enjoy the day for a bit. We take off from Fort Collins, and immediately there's an issue. We are not gaining altitude. We have to circle back to land, barely missing some power lines. I'm trying to stay calm, trying to not think about the fact that I didn't tell anyone where I was or who I was with.
This is an episode of I Shouldn't Be Alive.
Uh-huh. Yep. I didn't tell. I was also definitely not replaying the recurring dream I'd had since I was a kid about how I was going to die in a plane crash like Richie Valens. Thankfully, she's funny.
Like Richie Valens, of all the people that have died in a plane crash.
Hey, I covered that.
I know you
did. Behind the paywall, Richie, Buddy, and the Big Bopper.
The day the music died.
Oh,
yes.
So sad. Thankfully, we did land, got it fixed. Are we sure? Like, for real now? And I was told to get back on. Are you freaking kidding me? But what am I to do?
What else is she going to do? Mm-hmm. She's in Fort Collins now.
Yep. This is pre-cell phones, and I didn't even bring my ID.
The 90s.
I get back on, and holy Moses, we made it back just before dark to Greeley. Unfortunately, the plane we were picking up didn't have any lights, so guess what that means? Yep, Kyle gets to call his boss to let him know he needs to get 2 hotel rooms and a trip to Walmart for a few items. His boss didn't know he was bringing company. Then I got to listen to his girlfriend give him the what for until late because, well, guess who else didn't know he was bringing company? I met her and it was fine as far as I know. Most people would think that that's enough for a shallow end moment, but nope, my mama didn't raise no quitter. The next morning we take off at dawn. Kyle and I are in the original, now fixed up 4-seater. We're cruising along, just chatting when I start to feel super sick, like I'm going to puke my guts out sick. Kyle looks at me, pressed on one of my fingernails and says, "Oh shit." He was distracted and had been flying over 20,000 feet. I had the beginnings of altitude sickness, so we start to drop down. I started to feel better, then thank goodness. Oh, did I mention the other plane also has no radio? A little while later, we're getting ready to touch back down home. Yay! Kyle asks if I wanted to help, which I said as a frog's what? Which I said is a frog's ass watertight. What?
Yes, that's her.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
I have always wanted to be a pilot. He knew this. We touched down and he said, "Hit the brakes." We do. And out my window, I see the brakes or something fall off of this godforsaken plane. My God. We veer off the runway, down the dirt, throwing weeds and rocks everywhere. Alarms start blaring. Emergency vehicles are racing towards us. I'm done at this point. Just done.
At this point?
Like, I tell everyone my last name should be Murphy, because if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. I look at Kyle, say, "Thanks, that was kind of fun," and get out. I find a hole in the fence at the edge of the runway and start walking towards the buildings where my car had been parked. Hopefully it was still there, as I was technically not supposed to be there. Thankfully it was. Kyle kind of stopped coming into the liquor store after that. I think he was a little embarrassed.
He should be. Oh my God.
I'm not exactly sure what his plan really was, but I made it home and it's an exciting story. That's it. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
What was her name again?
Jenny A.
Jenny. Holy shit.
Even the last landing down, the brakes fly off and they're heading down the dirt hill.
That was incredible.
I love
Jenny, that was amazing.
her popping out of the plane into a little hole in a fence, like, gotta go.
Gotta go. Bye.
Oh my God.
1996.
What a time to be alive.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We just had quite the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to tell you a crime because we got to get into it, sister. I have a mamma jamma for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm kind of on a kick. You'll see. You'll understand the streak I'm on.
If
when
it's
you hear
9 dead babies, I'm leaving.
No, it's not that kind of streak.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about Pamela Smart.
Yes. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please do.
So Pamela was born in Coral Gables, Florida in 1967 to parents John and Linda Wojas. Wojas? W-O-J-A-S.
Sure.
Okay. She is the middle child out of 3. Her sister Elizabeth, 6 years older, and her brother John, 3 years younger. Her father worked as a commercial airline pilot while her mother worked part-time as a legal secretary. Her early childhood was spent in Miami until the 8th grade when her family moved to Derry, New Hampshire. She went to high school at Pinkerton Academy, which is technically a private school that all the small towns around it pay directly for the kids in their towns to attend.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. It is the largest high school in New Hampshire. Pamela was enthusiastic with a good sense of humor and was a very popular cheerleader in school. Pamela went to college at Florida State University. During her college radio career, she combined her passion for heavy metal music with her career goals. She hosted a one-night-a-week radio show at WVFS that she called Metal Madness, calling herself Maiden of Metal.
Wow.
She hosted, in the winter of 1986, Pamela went home to New Hampshire over holiday break, and that is when she met Gregory Smart at a New Year's Eve party. They hit it off immediately. Greg was born on September 4th, 1965 in Nashua, New Hampshire, where he had an idyllic American childhood. On holidays, his family would take him out boating on Lake Winnipesaukee. He played Little League Baseball as a child and helped his team win the championship in 1977. Many years later, Greg's dad would tell a reporter about it. Quote, all of a sudden, he connected with the ball and had a single, and he won the championship. You talk about a father being proud. I was very proud of him. By February of 1987, the two were seriously dating. They shared a love of heavy metal music. Greg even strummed a little guitar. Greg bought Pamela a Shih Tzu, and she named it Halen after their favorite rock group, Van Halen. Part of what drew Pam to Greg was his metal aesthetic. His 5 foot 10 inch, 175 pound frame, in great shape from hiking, skiing, and fishing with his baby face, was very attractive to her.
Mm-hmm.
But it was his long, curly, shoulder-length hair that Pam adored. For Greg, it was Pam's small frame, porcelain skin, and vivacious personality that attracted him to her. Greg moved to Florida to live with Pamela during her senior year in college. 2 years later, after they first met in 1989, they were married. After graduating, they settled into their quiet, peaceful hometown of Derry. Starting off their new life together, they moved into an upscale residential area in a brand new condo complex on Misty Morning Drive.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Complete with modern furniture, including a white leather couch.
Wow.
I mean, it was the 80s. And attractive decor, 2 cars, and of course, Halen. Greg, one of 3 sons, was now living only a block away from his parents.
Nice.
Pam described her life with Greg once as picture perfect. By many standards, Greg was a catch. Free-spirited and fun-loving, Greg seemed devoted to Pamela. They even had a cute little quirky thing in common, spelling their nicknames in a unique, nonsensical way. Pamela signed her nickname P-A-M-E, pronounced Pammy, and Greg wrote out his as Greg with 2 G's, adding that extra G at the end. None would call Greg sentimental, but he was a good man, looking forward to having children. He proudly bragged to his parents about how Pam would be such a good mom if the way she treated Halen was any indicator. She fussed over that dog, cooking him delicious little treats, taking him for numerous walks each day, and protecting him from any sort of possible distress. Pamela mostly really only focused on herself. Quote, I'm definitely the typical Leo. You know, walk in, have to be the center of everything. Everywhere I go, I'm always attracting attention for some reason or another. I'm loud, very outgoing and stuff. Pam was close to her mom, but had a strained relationship with her dad. Pamela was a great organizer and had been working since she was 13. Wow. Most of all, Pamela needed to be in control of herself and of her surroundings. She compulsively organized her clothing by color, even neatly folding her dirty laundry into separate hampers for darks and whites.
Folding her dirty laundry?
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of that?
I don't know.
Okay.
She also organized her life that way, becoming upset when her schedule was disrupted. Pamela was pursuing a broadcast career and doing everything she could think of to attain that goal. She worked 3 jobs and still found time to organize a benefit promoting safe sex, even talking several bands into giving free performances. Pamela was hired as media services director with a school board in the town of Hampton near the coast south of Portsmouth. It wasn't her dream job, but she thought it was a good start in the right direction. Her job entailed producing and distributing educational videos for use in the school district. She even had her own secretary and a student intern.
That is a far cry from heavy metal.
Far cry from heavy metal.
But that's all right.
She also volunteered as adult facilitator with a local drug awareness program called Project Self-Esteem. All freshmen at Winnicott High School were required to participate in the program. She was able to connect with the kids because of her love for heavy metal music. Mm-hmm. They all looked up to her. She didn't talk down to them like most of the adults in their lives. She spoke their language and listened to the same music they did. She impressed them with her story of meeting Eddie Van Halen and getting backstage passes at metal shows. Billy Flynn, one of the teenagers working on the project, became infatuated with Pam, going out of his way to be helpful during the sessions. He also visited her every day at her office. The morning of May 1st, 1990 began like any other workday. It was a foggy morning with the promise of rain in the air. Greg and Pamela got up early and set about their routine. Showers, coffees, chit-chat, taking care of Halen before they went to work.
Okay.
Pam usually left for work first, but that Tuesday morning, Greg was the first to leave. Later than usual, at about 9:45 a.m. Pamela drove to work in her Honda CRX with a vanity plate that spelled Halen.
Mm-hmm.
She had a long day ahead of her that included meeting with the school board in the evening to talk about a salary review and a discussion regarding a media class that she was interested in teaching in the fall.
Okay.
Pamela finally made it home around 10 p.m.
Jeez.
As she pulled up to the condo complex, she noticed that the house was dark. Greg would normally turn on the porch light when he got home first so that she would not have to walk to the front door in the dark. Later, Pam said when she stepped inside the condo and switched on the foyer light, quote, "This all happened in a matter of not even a second, I think. I remember seeing him and the candlestick and the pillow." She started screaming, "Help, my husband, my husband." She ran to nearby condos in Unit 4D and then to 4C, pounding on the doors and ringing the doorbells, screaming hysterically. One of the neighbors literally pulled Pamela in through her front door thinking somebody might be after her.
Right.
Pamela kept shouting, "My husband's hurt. He's on the floor. I don't know what's wrong with him." During the confusion, at some point, Pamela had said something like, "Why do they keep doing this?"
What? Also,
idea.
did you say he was in the foyer with a candlestick?
There was a candlestick.
This is like Clue?
Kinda.
Okay.
At this point, a bunch of neighbors had come out their front doors to figure out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
At least 2 of the neighbors had dialed 911. One neighbor, Art Hughes, had been watching the show 30-something, if anyone remembers that show. When he heard a woman's screams, he figured this woman's husband had been beating her.
Right.
He yelled to Pamela, "What's wrong? What's the problem?" She yelled back, "My husband's on the floor." And he says, "What's wrong with him? Where is he?" So she pointed towards her condo, and Art, in his pajamas, basically, frantically ran out into the parking lot, looking into parked cars and all over the parking lot and the lawn. And it's like, where the fuck is he?
Right.
He was not understanding Pamela's directions. Inside! He's inside! So Art ran to her condo door and was just about to open the screen door when she yelled again, "Don't go in there! There may still be somebody in there!" Art pulled open the screen door and was about to open the door when another neighbor showed up right behind him. So when he opened the door, they were both kind of right there.
Right.
And the first thing he saw 10 feet away was a brass candlestick, then a foot. And once the door was fully open, both men rushed into the foyer, and that's when they saw the face-down body of a man. And it was Greg Smart. An ambulance arrived. Police arrived. At 11:19, an investigator for the New Hampshire Medical Examiner's Office would make it official and secure the condo with yellow tape to protect the integrity of the crime scene. An autopsy revealed that Greg had died from a single gunshot wound to the back of the head from a .38 caliber hollow point. He was just 24 years old.
Oh my gosh, 24.
Yeah, these are kids.
Jeez.
The Smarts condo was only a mile from police headquarters, so very quickly the detectives arrived for their assignment. Murders were rare in Derry. This was a quiet, peaceful town with a population of 32,000. In fact, this would be the only homicide in Derry that year.
Jeez.
Burglaries were also pretty rare. At first, this looked like it could have been a botched burglary, but the lead detective would notice a series of red flags. No sign of forced entry, a nighttime burglary in a densely populated area, an execution-style killing, no signs of a struggle. Burglars don't usually fight. They don't pack guns. There were red flags all over the place. Even if it was a burglary, the police know that burglars don't usually go armed. Crime statistics show that burglars rarely commit homicide, and when they do kill, it is not execution style the way Gregory Smart was murdered.
Right.
Underneath Greg's body was his diamond-studded wedding ring, along with his keys and wallet. 2 stereo speakers and a small television had been left near the back door. Halen was found in the basement. The crime scene appeared to be staged.
Was Halen okay?
Halen was fine.
Okay.
And while the first suspects were always people closest to the victim, Pamela had an airtight alibi. She had been at that school board meeting 35 miles away, but she did set off another series of red flags in the lead detective. From day one, she was not acting the grieving widow. She insisted on an immediate interview. When they took her to the station, she said, quote, "This looks like a botched burglary. The first thing I saw was the speakers off the stand."
Oh. She's oversharing stuff. Just,
Mhm.
yeah.
The detectives thought that was odd. The first thing she saw was the speakers. What about her husband on the floor?
Right.
She said, quote, when I walked over to the body, not my husband, but the body.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of strange, but maybe she's in shock.
Okay.
Pamela never lost her composure, and it was her idea to give an interview just one day after her husband's murder. Pamela also had a lot of over-the-top anxiety about Halen. While police were processing the crime scene, she expressed over and over to friends, to neighbors, to anyone who would listen, her concern for her dog. Even after it was obvious that Halen was safe, she kept saying, I wish they would tell me about my dog. I just want to know if he's all right.
Whoa.
I mean, there's dog lovers, and then there's
I know, but
that
her
is.
husband's dead.
Right.
Like, okay.
But the biggest red flag with Pamela came 2 or 3 days later when detectives met her at the condo so she could pick up some items while it was still a secured crime scene. She walked on the blood-soaked area of the carpet where Greg's head had lain. And not just one time, but repeatedly.
What?
Her mom finally put a towel down over the spot, and Pamela just stepped on the towel then, while everyone else at the crime scene made a point of stepping around it.
Isn't she trampling through evidence, though?
I mean, this was a few days later, and the police had let her go back
Okay.
to the apartment to get things.
Oh my
This
God.
was like she was escorted by the police to go get some items of her personal
Gotcha.
belongings to, right?
And she's just walking.
This is
straight
what the
through.
police are witnessing her do.
Okay.
None of these red flags was evidence that she had anything to do with Greg's death, but it did raise the detective's eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks into the investigation, with only random leads for follow-up at that point, police received an anonymous tip. A female called in to tell investigators that a teen named Cecilia Pierce knew that Pamela Smart planned Greg's death with 3 teenage boys.
Oh my God.
Then at noon on Sunday, June 10th, another break in the case came when Vance Latimer Sr. brought a snub-nosed .38 caliber revolver to the Seabrook Police Headquarters, telling police there that he thought it might have been a murder weapon. Also, Vance and his wife recognized Pamela's name as one that their son and his buddies had mentioned.
Oh, they found it in their home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
The Derry detectives went to Seabrook to speak with Vance. Vance told detectives that his surrogate son, Ralph Welch, overheard his friends JR and Pete talking about a murder they had been part of, also mentioning Raymond Fowler and Billy Flynn.
Fucking teenage boys.
Fucking teenage boys. Ralph relayed this to Vance that Sunday morning, the day Vance came into the station with the weapon. The next day, police spoke to Cecilia Pierce, but it wasn't until Thursday that she gave them the whole story. The boys were still not talking. The detectives only had Ralph's affidavit of what he had overheard and Cecilia's account, but it wasn't enough. The police asked Cecilia to wear a wire on 2 separate occasions to try to get Pamela to admit to her involvement in Greg's murder. They also set up 2 brief telephone intercepts. Part of the transcript from one of the taped calls between Cecilia and Pamela goes like this. Cecilia asked Pamela, seeing what happened, wouldn't you rather have just divorced Greg? And Pamela said, well, I don't know. You know, nothing was going wrong until they fucking told Ralph. No shit, said Cecilia. Pamela says, it's their stupid ass fault that they told Ralph, you know? And Cecilia says, I can't even believe they told him. Now they're in jail, and like every time I hear Motley Crue, I think of Bill. Pamela's response to that was, yeah, so do I. Tell me about it. That's the thing. I never fucking paid him. Somebody told me I gave JR a stereo and stuff. You know, if they get certified as juveniles, then nobody will ever know anything, and they'll all be out in a year, you know, when they turn 18. But I'm just like, what the hell? I've already got the best friggin' lawyers anywhere. A little bit later in the exchange, Pamela says, right now, they don't have to do anything unless I'm arrested. And if I get arrested, then they have to do shit. So they can't convict me because of fucking JR's 16-year-old word in the slammer facing the rest of his life.
She is Delulu.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Cecilia was like, well, first of all, you didn't offer to pay him, right? No, Pamela said. So he's not going to say that you offered to pay him. He's going to say that you knew about it beforehand, which is the truth. And Pamela says, right. Well, so then I'll have to say, no, I didn't. And then they're either going to believe me or they're going to believe JR 16-year-olds in the slammer. And then who will they believe? Me with a professional reputation and of course that I teach. You know, that's the thing. They're going to believe me. At the end of the call, Pam then invited Cecilia over later so they could go out together. Quote, you better be here or I'll come after you with my Rambo knife. On Wednesday, August 1st, 1990, 3 months to the day after Greg's murder, Pamela Smart was arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
As police investigated further, the press picked up the story. The picture that emerged was shocking. Contrary to the picture-perfect life Pamela claimed she and Greg lived, trouble started in their relationship soon after their wedding. Mm. Greg began to grow up. He became more conservative, taking a job with the insurance company that his dad worked at. His ambition paid off. He created a whole new image. While he still enjoyed good equipment, like the expensive speakers in his Toyota pickup truck, and he still enjoyed heavy metal music, the intensity had waned. He was becoming a successful salesman, spending his free time with his friends. Mm-hmm. The line for Pamela came when Greg cut his hair.
Oh, no. Unforgivable. I was going to say something about the hair. That's funny.
The hair. It was his hair and his resemblance to John Bon Jovi that Pamela was attracted to. Now he looked like just another New England yuppie. Mm-hmm. Then as they approached their 1-year anniversary, Greg confessed to Pamela that he was having an affair.
Oh.
I also read in one place that he had slept with one other woman once, like shortly after their wedding.
I see.
Greg told his parents he had plans for a party to celebrate their first wedding anniversary just a week later, and they were flying to Florida. He said, if there's anything Pam really loves, it's lying on the beach. She's a real sun bunny. But after that revelation from Greg, every time the two fought, Pamela brought up the affair. She didn't feel as important anymore, and it affected her trust. Pamela was also more focused on her career and looking for a way out of her marriage. At the same around the same time Greg confessed his affair to Pamela, she met Billy Flynn.
Okay.
In the fall of 1989, working on Project Self-Esteem. Then they worked together on an orange juice video competition.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, high school video projects. I don't know. Greg had encouraged Pamela to spend more time with the friends she was making at the school. Mm-hmm. Pamela looked somewhat younger than her 22 years, which wasn't that much older than the high schoolers she was working with. With her shoulder-length blonde streaked hair fluffed out in front, her dark, fully lined eyes, and her spunky personality, she fit right in with the teenagers. Mm-hmm. She had just begun working in the building next to the high school where 15-year-old Billy was starting his sophomore year.
15?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Billy was 150 pounds, 5'11" inches tall, and shy looking with big round eyes and dark shoulder-length hair. He had an earring, wore a black leather jacket, and played the guitar. He was all about rock and roll, especially heavy metal. His favorite band was Motley Crue.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Later, Pamela would say, quote, I thought he was a good kid. He was easy to talk to, friendly. He liked some of the same music I liked. He played the guitar. William Patrick Flynn was born March 12th, 1974, a day after a big blowout between his parents, Bill and Elaine Flynn. Their marriage was tumultuous, and Billy seemed to be caught in the middle. They argued constantly, and Billy watched his father's shitty treatment of his mother, and Billy would eventually experience his father's anger firsthand. Mm-hmm. Billy was the oldest of Bill and Elaine's 3 sons, but Billy got the worst of it from their dad. Bill loved his son, but he pushed Billy too hard. Elaine said, quote, if things were going my husband's way, he was a great guy to be around. But as soon as he had to deal with any inconvenience, forget it. We used to go down into the canyons on dirt bikes and spend the day. There's always problems with them. Well, once Billy had a problem with his bike. It was something as trivial as a spark plug. His dad told him how to fix it, and it didn't go. It was blow up time. His father would start yelling, you couldn't have done what I said. It was just a matter of time before the Flynn's marriage was over, but that did not stop the acrimony between them or between father and son, although Bill Sr. did have a quiet spell, an unusual sort of reprieve, the Christmas before he died. Elaine decided to leave Bill after she found out that he had been cheating on her for years, which turned into a move from California to New Hampshire. Only 12 at the time and entering junior high, Billy didn't want to go to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
He was angry when they got to New Hampshire. He started 7th grade at Seabrook Elementary School, and this is where Billy would meet his best friends, JR and Pete. Mm. Billy ran with a tough crowd that included his besties, Pete and JR. But the three were so close and helpful in the neighborhood that some people even referred to them as the Three Musketeers. They ran errands, shoveled snow, or handled odd jobs. They even helped the elderly residents for free or very large discounts. And the three boys lived in South Seabrook. Seabrook is primarily a blue-collar town, and its residents are known to those from other areas of the state as Brookies, a derisive term loosely translated to mean people of low class or people from the wrong side of the track.
That's fucking rude.
Brookies are generally viewed by other New Hampshireites with the same disdain that people from Boston have for the rest of the world.
Okay.
Al Capp, the Lil Abner cartoonist, joked about using Seabrook as his model for the fictional town of Dogpatch.
Oh, okay. That's funny because there's a Seabrook in, I don't know if it's Washington or Oregon, but it's a coastal town that is very fancy. It's over by
Right.
Ocean Shores. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Whoops, sorry.
JR was Vance Latimer Jr., the 15-year-old with the 15 years old. The 15-year-old with dark curly hair, a long thin face, and thick glasses. JR was a bookworm. His prized anthology was the collected works of Edgar Allan Poe. He spent most of his time reading or working on refurbishing an old Camaro. He wanted to join the Marines after high school. When he had free time, he visited his grandmother in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and helped at holiday dinners for the unfortunate at his church. JR is the son of the man who brought the gun in.
Okay. Okay.
He's the junior to the senior that brought the gun in.
Okay.
Patrick Randall, who went by Pete, was short but looked very athletic. His mother described him as a loving son, always hugging both his parents when he was going out, no matter who was there. Of the three, he was the one that got in trouble the most. He had a habit of ditching school. There was even a rumor that he wanted to be a hitman when he grew up.
Oh.
At least one of Pete's teachers claimed that he and his two friends, Billy and JR, were impressive young men. Quote, Billy was a genuinely likable and caring kid, and the other two were intelligent beyond their years. Cecilia Pierce was Pamela's student intern.
Okay.
Pamela quickly struck up a friendship with the teen girl, and they became best friends.
Pamela.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So this whole the conversations that you read off earlier between Cecilia and Pamela was
Yes.
Was Cecilia cooperating with the police and that's how they
Yes.
had that? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Cecilia wanted to be a journalist and was very interested in Pamela's job as another option for a career. Cecilia quickly became Pam's sounding board for virtually everything that was going on in her life.
So inappropriate.
Remember, Cecilia and these boys are 15, 16. Pamela is 22.
Gross.
Cecilia was very proud of the fact that Pamela wanted to be her bestie. Cecilia had never had a friend like Pamela, someone who was pretty and intelligent and self-assured. She made Cecilia feel important. Pamela paid for everything when they went out, and when Cecilia started to learn how to drive, Pamela would always let Cecilia drive her car. But her friendship with Pamela soon became a problem. It began to interfere in every facet of her life, with her friends, her schoolwork, and her home life, particularly with her mother, who called Cecilia critters. She said, quote, as this relationship went on and on, I liked it less and less. I was actually getting angry. I even said to Crit, you'd think Pam was your mother. Well, I'm your mother, not Pam.
Yeah, and she probably thinks it's very strange that her daughter is besties with a teacher.
Well, technically, Pamela wasn't a teacher, but she was
a
a
school employee.
faculty member of the school.
That's odd.
Yes. It is odd. Soon after meeting Pamela, Cecilia's grades began to slip. Her mom even spoke to school officials about the amount of time that Cecilia was at the school board's media center. And the assistant principal agreed, had noticed it as well, but apparently never did anything about it. Pam, Billy, and Cecilia hung out together. They spent a lot of time at teen hangout spots like the mall and restaurants, beachfront arcades, and clubs.
Oh my God.
Pam loved managing a video project with a few teens. She would invite them to her condo to work on the project. While Greg was out spending more and more time with his friends, Pam was exclusively hanging out with her new teenage friends.
so dumb. She should be embarrassed.
The first time Billy encountered Pamela in that first program meeting, he turned to JR and said, "I'm in love." One day in early February, Billy was with Pamela in her office across from the high school, and she asked him, quote, "Do you ever think about me when I'm not around?" And he told her that he did, and she said, "Well, I think about you all the time." Pamela said she didn't know what to do about her feelings because she was married, but that Billy was constantly on her mind.
That's not the
problem is that
issue.
I'm going to tell you right now, Amber, the whole time I researched this story, even articles written more recently, literally none of them talk about the fucking rape aspect of this case. Okay?
Yeah.
None of them. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
It was about 3 weeks later that Pamela kissed Billy while on his bed listening to Motley Crue's Starry Eyes playing over and over. Billy had just been through a rough couple of years. 2 months before his 13th birthday, his dad died. It was a freak accident when a car pulled in front of him and he veered into the rear end of a gasoline tanker carrying roughly 9,000 gallons of fuel.
Oh my God.
The tanker blew up and Billy's dad burned until all that was left to identify him were his teeth.
Oh.
Billy got very quiet after that, spending a lot of time alone.
Yeah.
And he was acting out at home. His mom later said Billy wasn't violent. He had a lot of self-restraint, but he often got angry over little inconveniences, and it was hard to communicate with him.
Mm-hmm.
To the outside world, Billy was polite and charming. He wanted to be liked. Home is where he took out his anger like a volcano waiting to erupt.
Mm.
Ralph Welch, the one who confided in Lance that he had heard Pete and JR talking about murdering someone, went to live with the Latimays due to some unfortunate circumstances, and they had encouraged him to go back to school. He was about the same age as their son JR, but Ralph was closer to Billy and Pete. But so they didn't really run in the same circles.
Right.
Like he was tight with Billy and Pete, but he didn't run with them. He wasn't actually tight with JR. I'm not exactly sure how JR's parents ended up taking in Ralph, but they basically took Ralph in.
Okay.
Okay. So there was also this sometime friend, Raymond Fowler. They called him Ramey. And he was a petty thief, and he wasn't as tight with the crew. He was like the sometimes came around guy, right? So late in March, Greg went out of town for work, and Pamela invited Billy and Cecilia over to the condo to watch movies.
Okay.
One of the movies they watched was 9.5 Weeks, starring Kim Basinger and Mickey Rourke.
Okay.
It's infamous for the refrigerator scene. Does that?
I don't
ring a
know
bell?
that I've ever seen that movie.
I've never actually watched it all the way through, but it's like a zeitgeist thing. Like everybody was talking about 9.5 Weeks because it had this risque. It was a very sexy movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was a very sexy movie. There's this whole risque scene where they're sitting in front of the fridge. He's feeding her from the food. There's food involved.
Okay,
It's
sure.
sexy. It's right. Okay. So just after the movie finished, Pamela sent Cecilia out to walk Halen. And then she took Billy upstairs to her and Greg's bedroom, where she slipped into a turquoise negligee that she had bought especially for the occasion and had sex with Billy for the first time.
Oh my God.
While the CD player played Van Halen and Sammy Hagar. This was also the first time Billy had ever had sex.
Jesus Christ.
Because he's 15.
Uh-huh. Also, weirdly, that was the student's name of Mary Kay Letourneau, Billy,
She's on my list.
which is like, oh God, yeah.
I told you I'm on a roll right now.
Okay.
I've got,
all right.
okay. The next morning, as Pam drove them both to the school, she said, quote, "Last night was great, but we can't keep on like that." And Billy wanted to know why. And she said, "Because of Greg. If you want to keep seeing me, you'll have to get rid of my husband."
Just get a divorce, but also that's not the reason. The reason is that he's 15.
The reason is that he's 15.
Okay.
And this is rape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So after that, they repeatedly met over the next few weeks to have sex while Pamela pressed on with her campaign for Billy to kill Greg. Quote, "You have to get rid of Greg, otherwise we can't keep on seeing each other." When Billy asked her why she didn't just get a divorce, she told him that Greg would follow her everywhere. She wouldn't be able to have a boyfriend. Plus, she'd probably lose the condo, furniture, and all, and she couldn't even think about losing Halen.
Okay, well, he probably wouldn't follow you everywhere because he's already having an affair. But
Well, he's also like got a life. It's
Yeah.
not-
okay. Mm.
She lied to Billy and told him that Greg beat her, and the only way out was to kill him. Finally, reluctantly, Billy agreed to kill Greg. Twice, Billy was going to kill Greg, but he didn't follow through, and Pam was furious and threatened to break up with him. Billy later told the jury that Pamela said, quote, "If you loved me, you'd do this."
Fuck.
And he told her that he did love her. Because he's 15 and a 22-year-old woman is having sex with him.
I know. God.
He was afraid to lose her, so he got serious about killing Greg, and that's when he started talking to Pete and JR about it. She told Billy that May 1st was it. That was the last chance. Greg had late appointments that night, and she was busy with a school board meeting. She even told Billy that she would pay them from the insurance money that she would collect.
She lied to Cecilia then. She said that she didn't say anything about paying.
She lied to everybody about all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Pamela and Greg's marriage was going further downhill. They were spending more and more time apart, and the tension in their marriage began to show. Cecilia later testified about a phone conversation that she overheard where Pamela said something about getting a divorce, and then they started fighting over who was going to take the dog and the furniture and everything, and then she said, quote, "Fine, take the dog," and hung up.
Okay.
By April, Greg was coming home more often to an empty house, eating alone. Around this time, Greg told a longtime friend that he had felt a chill of danger as he walked into the empty condo. Something was just wrong, and he turned around and left.
Oh, shit. Was that one of the times that Billy was in there, lying in wait?
I don't know.
Fuck.
Pamela came up with the plan and told the boys to wear dark clothes. Billy needed to tie his hair back. They should park by the shopping center. Pam would leave the basement and back doors unlocked. Bill and Pete should ransack the place to make it look like it was a burglary and take anything, including electronics and jewelry. Billy added to the plan and told his friends, quote, "Pam says Greg is a real wimp. If he sees a light on, he won't come inside, so don't turn on any lights." Quote, "She doesn't want Halen to be traumatized. So don't hurt the dog. Put him in the basement so he doesn't have to witness the murder. She doesn't want blood all over the white leather couch, so use a gun, not a knife, because a knife is too messy." At some point, Pamela asked them how she should act when she discovered Greg's body that night, whether she should scream or call for help, and one of the boys told her to just act natural.
She's asking advice for, oh my God, I can't.
The day of the murder, Pamela went to Billy's to let him know that the doors were unlocked. She even wore all her gold chains and a ring on every finger so that she wouldn't lose her favorite pieces of jewelry in the fake burglary.
I'm wearing everything you own. You have to wear it all. That looks weird, Pam. God.
Jesus.
Put it in a Ziploc and shove it in your purse.
Seriously. Around 2:30 p.m., Billy called Pamela to let her know there was a snag in the plan. They needed a ride to go pick up the getaway car. JR's grandma's 1978 Chevrolet yellow Impala.
Okay, first of all, you don't commit a crime in a yellow car. Second of all, if the people you've hired need a ride because they're not old enough for a license, like what the fuck are you doing? Can I get a ride to my murder? This is ridiculous. Okay.
So then JR enlisted that Raymond, that sometimes friend. And they were killing time at the shopping center while Billy and Pete went into the condo. So JR was driving the getaway car.
Okay.
The first thing they did was deal with Halen, but when Billy tried to pick the dog up, it was barking and growling and running away. Billy chased Halen down and literally threw the dog down the stairs into the basement.
Oh.
They ransacked the house, grabbing valuables, including taking apart the entertainment center. They left a small pair of speakers by the door with the intent of taking them when they left. Then they waited in the dark for Greg to come home. Billy had Pete behind the door with a kitchen knife, and he went onto the stairs with the gun. Billy told Pete to grab Greg when he opens the door, pull him in, and slit his throat. At some point, they considered using the brass candlestick, but decided against it and tossed it on the foyer floor.
Okay. Wow.
Then they switched spots. Billy behind the door, Pete on the stairs. When Greg got home and walked through the door, he flipped on the light and called out for Halen. The two boys overpowered him. At some point, Greg handed over his wallet, and when Pete told Greg to give them the wedding band, Greg said, "No, I can't do that. My wife would kill me." With Greg on his knees, Billy behind him, he cocked the hammer of the gun, pointed it at Greg's head, and hesitated, then said, "God forgive me," and pulled the trigger. Billy and Pete ran out of the condo, back to the getaway car where JR and Ramey waited, and went home. Pamela would later tell Billy that while driving to Hampton, she had actually seen their car on the road and had flicked her lights at them to say hi.
Sorry, it's not funny.
It's
Oh, hey. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Did you see the light flickering? The car with the light?
That was
saying
me.
hi.
That was me.
I-
Oh my God. This fucking woman. Okay.
The murder trial of Pamela Smart was a proverbial media circus, due in no small part to the fact that hers was the first time a court case had been filmed live.
Oh.
Channel 9 interrupted regular daily programming to air it and rebroadcast highlights after midnight. Local authorities said the whole case was blown way out of proportion by the media. It was also the first real high-profile trial of a school staff member having sex with a student. And they did not deal with it appropriately.
This was before Mary Kay?
Yes.
Okay.
This was like 7 years before Mary Kay.
Okay. Okay.
This led to this. Ultimately, it would led to a made-for-TV movie, a bunch of true crime TV series, based episodes off of this, and there was also a 1995 feature film called "To Die For," starring Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
Pamela was charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and witness tampering. She could have been charged with capital murder, but the prosecution decided against it. It seems to me that she also could have been charged with rape of a child, but no one seemed concerned about that.
God.
That is nowhere in the charges.
Wow. The 90s. Who knows?
Pamela's trial began on March 4th, 1991. The prosecution portrayed the teenagers as naive victims of an evil woman bent on murder. They painted a picture of Pamela as the cold-blooded mastermind who controlled her young lover. The prosecution claimed that Pamela seduced Billy to get him to murder her husband so that she could avoid an expensive divorce and cash in a roughly $140,000 life insurance policy.
Right.
Pamela took the stand at her trial. She admitted to having an affair with Billy. Can we call it an affair?
No. She admitted to raping Billy. Okay.
But she claimed that the murder was all on Billy and his friends. She said Billy and his friends killed Greg after she told Billy she wanted to end their relationship and fix her marriage. She insisted she had nothing to do with the plot to murder Greg and had no idea there was ever any such plan.
Oh, sure. He just knew exactly what to do with the dog, and your condo was unlocked, and you wore everything you owned that day so he could steal everything else. But she didn't know about it.
She knew nothing about it. She had nothing to do with it. They did this all of their own volition.
Sure.
All four of the boys testified for the prosecution.
Oh, shit.
They all said the same thing. Everything about the murder was Pamela's idea. She had made promises to Billy about the two of them being together if only Greg were gone. Between their testimony, Cecilia's testimony, and the taped conversations with Cecilia that directly contradicted Pamela's claim that she didn't know anything about the murder plot and wanted to fix her marriage with Greg, she was found guilty on March 22nd, 1991 on all three charges, and later that day sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
Shit.
In 1992, Billy Flynn was sentenced to life in prison for second-degree murder, not eligible for parole for 40 years, with 12 years of the minimum sentence deferred if he maintains good behavior. In 2007, Billy sought a sentence reduction after serving 16 years, stating that he had vowed not to do so until he had spent as many years behind bars as he had spent free. He also apologized to Greg Smart's family for murdering him. The Smart family opposed the request. On February 12, 2008, the request was denied, although Billy's earliest parole eligibility date was reduced by 3 years to 25 years, making him eligible for parole in 2015. Billy was released from prison with lifetime parole in June of 2015, a few days past the 25th anniversary of Greg Smart's death.
Okay.
Pete, Patrick Randall, was also sentenced to life in prison for second-degree murder, eligible for parole after 40 years with 12 years deferred, making him eligible as early as 2018. In March 2009, a judge reduced Pete's minimum sentence by 3 years to 25, making him eligible for release as early as June of 2015, and he was released in June on lifetime parole the same day as Billy.
Okay.
J.R. Vance Latimer Jr. was sentenced to life in prison as an accomplice to second-degree murder, eligible for parole after 30 years with 12 years suspended. In 2005, his minimum sentence was reduced by 3 years, and he was released on lifetime parole that same year, 15 years after Greg Smart's death.
Okay.
In 2023, J.R. was denied a sentence reduction that would have ended his parole. He made an appeal to reduce his sentence for lifetime parole. Raymond Fowler, who waited in the car during the killing, was sentenced to 30 years for conspiracy to murder and attempted burglary, parole eligibility after 15 years. He was paroled in 2003, 13 years after Greg's death, but was sent back to prison in 2004 for violating his parole terms and paroled again in June 2005.
Wow.
Pamela Smart, to this day, claims she is innocent and had nothing to do with what Billy and his friends did to Greg. She did concede that her husband would still be alive had she not had an affair with Billy.
Okay.
She also says she still keeps track of Billy because she thinks he's the key to her freedom. Quote, he is one of the few people that could actually get me out of here by coming forward and telling the truth, but he's never going to do that.
Okay.
Pamela is serving her life sentence at the maximum security Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for Women in Westchester County, New York, where she was transferred in 1993 from New Hampshire. She was transferred to the same facility as Carolyn Warmus.
Stop it.
Gets better. In 2003, risque photos of Pamela were published in the National Enquirer. She filed a complaint against the prison and was placed in solitary confinement for 2 months. She sued for being put in solitary, but the lawsuit was dismissed. In 2004, she joined Carolyn Warmus in the lawsuit against officials of Bedford Hills claiming sexual harassment and sexual assault by a corrections officer who they said coerced them into posing for the suggestive pictures published in 2003.
Shit.
On November 5th, 2009, a U.S. District Court judge approved a $23,875 judgment to Pamela from the state of New York. She received $8,750, while her attorney received the remaining balance for attorney's fees.
Wow.
In an interview with ABC News, Pamela said she is afraid of growing old and dying in prison and would rather have been given the death penalty. In March of 2023, she lost her final appeal. On June 11th, 2024, as part of an effort to get a sentence reduction, a videotaped statement was released where, for the first time ever, Pamela Smart accepted responsibility for her husband's death by asserting that she should have, quote, seen the signs with regard to her allegation that Billy's actions were all of his own. She claimed that videotape was done as part of some inner work she was doing on herself.
No, you're still saying the same thing. She's still saying the same thing, which is that it wasn't her idea. Okay.
Pamela requested a hearing before the New Hampshire Executive Council to plead for a pardon from the governor. The New Hampshire governor issued a statement in May of 2025 denying her request. And that is the story of Pamela Smart.
Wow. Pamela, not so smart.
No.
Also, that I believe 2008 ruling of imposing life sentences on minors being unconstitutional, it obviously doesn't translate to lifetime parole sentences. It must
Apparently
just
not.
be imprisonment. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Shit. Wow. That was hefty, sister.
I know.
And she's
She's still. refuses.
It's not even feasible that it wasn't her idea. Like who
100%.
Oh my God.
And now that I just cannot get over the fact that like here we are, however many decades later, and still they call him her lover.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about it like it's just a regular affair.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is talking about this. At the very least, statutory rape. He was a minor. He wasn't at 15. He wasn't even the age of consent, let alone the age difference. Right? She was an adult. He was not age of consent. And like we can argue about like the righteousness of these laws and what the right numbers are and all that kind of stuff. But she was a faculty member, an adult woman, faculty member at his school, and he was 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gross.
There's a lot of mullets, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure. I hope that that's part of your pictures.
Yes.
Good. I'm going to put my readers on really quick.
Okay, yeah, you get your readers on,
Thank
sis.
you. Okay. Wow, sister. That was fucking wild.
I know.
All right. Well, I hope you do Mary Kay soon.
Oh yeah, she's on my list. I'm on a roll right now.
I love
Actually,
it.
I Pamela Smart came onto my radar because of
Caroline.
Carolyn.
Good. Wow. What a small world. All right. Well, I've got a chaos for you if you're up for it.
I am always up for it.
All right. I'm gonna
bring it.
I'm gonna tell you about Dewey Gadecki.
Okay.
Dewey.
Like Huey, Dewey, and Louie?
That's right. He was 41 years old and recently divorced, and he was taking his first vacation without his family. Solo trip to Hawaii in 2005.
Little like Eat, Love, Pray or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He was in the middle of a lot of big changes in his life with the divorce and all the things, and was looking for a little bit of an adventure. He had plans to stay for a week on the big island of Hawaii and to see one of the main attractions, Kilauea, which is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth.
Okay.
It has been actively erupting for decades, and it sits on a 300,000 acre lava field.
Wow.
It's massive. Mm-hmm. Dewey, I almost said Huey because you said Huey Lewis and the News. Dewey has two daughters. At the time, Trina was 5 and Tara was 7. They lived with their mom, and Dewey really missed them. And it was like strange for him to go on vacation without them, you know?
Yeah.
So he brings along a camcorder so that he can kind of like do video diary talking to his girls that he'll give to them later, right?
Right.
So he scouts out the volcano and films a little bit of it. But his friends told him that going to the volcano at night is like the thing to do because you can't really see all the lava glowing in the daytime. And that's like pretty fucking cool to see at night.
Yeah.
So he plans to return that evening. The lady at the front desk of his hotel tells him that it is extremely dark out there at night and tells him you should bring a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
He had on jeans, a t-shirt, and good walking shoes. Uh-oh.
This is an episode of I Shouldn't Be Alive, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, Dewey.
He brings his camcorder and the flashlight, and that was it.
Oh, boy.
He doesn't pack a compass. He doesn't pack any food or water.
Not a bottle of water, nothing.
Nope.
Oh, my God.
He plans to only be there for a few hours, look at the lava flow, and come back. So he gets to the volcano. There's no cell service there. So he leaves his phone in his car and just brings his camera and flashlight with him. There are no identifying markers out there at all. It's 300,000 acres really of black rock.
Well, yeah. How do you put markers on something that's constantly being like
melted
covered in lava? Yes. Yeah. Right.
But, you know, he's not too concerned about that. He can see the glowing lava from the car, and he figures he'll just walk in that direction a little bit, but not go far.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a full moon, so it's pretty
sure.
Pretty bright. Mm-hmm. But after 2 hours, it feels like he isn't getting any closer to the glowing lava in the distance. I feel like this
What?
comes up a lot. Where like
I'm reminded of the man in
in
the Outback.
Outback.
Yes, looking for the tower that he's going to climb to try and get service.
That poor guy.
Oh my god.
So yeah, he's not really getting any closer, but he decides to keep going for a little bit. After 3 hours, he does finally reach a spot where there is molten lava flowing over the edge of the mountain and into the ocean, which sounds really fucking cool.
Mhm.
He gets as close as safely possible and films for a little bit. He stayed and watched it for about 20 minutes and then decides to head back to his car. But he can't really seem to find the trail that he came on. So
There's no trail.
there's no trail. There's just rock and ash.
Okay.
So instead, he decides to follow the coastline and then maybe follow the coastline for 3 hours and then go inland. And that should put him to his car, right?
Okay.
But as he's walking the coastline, clouds rolled in and cover the full moon. And now it's real dark.
Mhm.
And pretty soon the texture of the ground he was walking on went from like a doughy like texture to like super hard and pointy, sharp rocks, making it really difficult to walk. So he walks the coastline for 3 hours and believes that if he starts going inland, that should take him right to his car. But he walks inland for another 3 hours and doesn't find his car.
Right.
And at this point, he's like hungry and thirsty and scared.
Yeah.
And so he starts documenting his walk on his camcorder.
Oh my god.
Mhm. Eventually, the sun comes up and Dewey is hopeful that he'll find his car. At this point, he's been lost for 9 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
On a lava field.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
But the sun coming up doesn't help at all. It's 300,000 acres of completely featureless landscape.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's like the sun coming up on the largest, like the Sahara.
Yep.
And you're in the middle of it.
Everything looks the same in every direction.
Every direction.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's like walking over thick burnt rock that's breaking under his weight, and he eventually loses his balance and slices open his arm on a jagged piece of rock.
Lava rock is no joke.
It's no joke. He doesn't have anything to put on his arm, so he just clamps it with his other hand. But he can only do that for so long because he is like exhausted without food and water, and he's been walking all night.
Right.
By the afternoon, he starts to feel like his mind isn't working quite right. He thought he was seeing like terrain that wasn't there, and he felt like he was walking in circles, which he might have been.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. At one point, he sees a helicopter overhead, and he's like super hopeful that it's a rescue helicopter because the lady at his hotel knew that he went out. So maybe he was reported missing when he didn't come back, but the helicopter doesn't see him and just passes right on by.
No, it's just some people that are visiting Hawaii and doing one of those touristy
That's
helicopter
exactly what it
flips.
is. And I did one of those.
I know you did.
I did one of those into a volcano. Mm-hmm. By hour 11, it's 86 degrees. Plus, he's surrounded by lava. And he's getting like dangerously dehydrated. He's dizzy and nauseous. So he stops looking for his car and starts looking for some sort of water source.
Mm-hmm.
So over a ridge, he reaches what looks like a tiny little wooded area. There's like these weird little oasis spots where there's like actual vegetation.
Okay.
And he goes over there to look for water. He finds little droplets of water on some leaves and like drinks that.
Uh-huh.
Then he hears another helicopter going overhead. That's when he realizes that they are sightseeing helicopters, not rescue helicopters. He still tries to get them to see him every time one flies over, but they don't.
No.
Mm-hmm. By hour 17 of being lost,
Oh my God.
he finds some moss in his little forest area and like squeezes it to get muddy water out that he can drink.
Oh God.
The flashlight's batteries were dead, so he dumps the batteries out and uses the flashlight as a cup to squeeze all the moss water into.
Uh-huh.
A few drinks made him feel a little bit better, and he was able to keep going.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't know this, but his hotel has alerted authorities that he never returned, and search and rescue is out looking for him.
Oh, well, that's good.
But, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
He's now going into his second night. It's windy and cold, so he starts looking for some kind of shelter for the night, and he finds like a little cave-like thing that he hunkers down into. I mean, it's precarious and not comfortable, but what are you going to do?
Sure. Sure.
At 29 hours lost, he's still he's still doing his video camera diaries for his girls, and he's getting like more and more hopeless, right?
Right.
The dehydration and the hunger is bad. He wants to find another little like foresty oasis for more water, but on this following day, it's close to 100 degrees. So like the delusions from the dehydration and the exhaustion is like real bad.
Right.
He does eventually find another foresty area, and he's able to get more flashlight water. And at this point, he decides to just stop looking for the road altogether and to stay in the little oasis.
Okay.
He decides to test some of the plant life by taking tiny bites and waiting to see if it made him sick or not.
Oh my God.
Before eating more. It was nasty. Kind of made him puke. He also hasn't gotten any real sleep. So he decides that while it is still light out, he needs to make some sort of shelter for the night. So he builds a little hut. He records it for his girls. But overnight, there is a wind and rainstorm.
Oh my God.
This poor guy. It's
Dewey.
freezing cold. He has bugs crawling all over him. And his hut is just totally destroyed. He's just laying on debris.
Yeah. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He got no sleep at all. He also had several shards of lava rock that had gotten embedded into his feet that were starting to pus and get infected.
Oh no. And his feet.
Yeah, because like it had punctured through his shoes. Like his shoes were melting.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh.
At this point, search and rescue had found his parked Jeep. They had been searching the 300,000 acres, but they're starting to believe that he like didn't survive. Like they don't see
Right.
movement or signs of life anywhere. So by the following, he's gone another night now. He's at hour 77.
Jesus.
And his foot is so infected that he can't walk. He's just sitting in his little forested area, which makes it impossible for a helicopter to see him at all.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So he decides he's going to try to walk and get out to the lava fields. And like maybe if he can start a fire, that he'll have like a smoke signal. So he's like dragging a branch with him, and he decides he's going to try and drag the branch as close to like the molten lava as he can and stick it in there so that it'll catch fire, and then walk it back to his, I don't know. But he's like choking and not able to breathe once he gets that close to the molten lava. So
because there's like noxious gases
Yes.
like flowing off of the flow.
So he's like, never mind. And he ditches his branch and goes back. Then he decides to use the lens of his camera as a magnifying glass to try and get the fire started. But he's like really conflicted about destroying his camera because it's like his only companion.
It's Wilson.
That's literally my next sentence. Wilson! Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Before destroying the camera, he does make one final video for his girls, and he makes sure to take the tape out and put it in his water-safe bag. And then while he's smashing his camera, he hears another helicopter go overhead.
Uh-huh.
This time they fly right over him, but it is a tourist helicopter. But a tourist on the flight who is a child sees him. He looks like he's 13, sees him down there, pulls out their cell phone and starts recording. And you can hear them tell the pilot, there's a guy down there who needs help.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm. Nearly 90 hours after getting lost, he's airlifted to the hospital. He was treated for severe dehydration and for all of his injuries. 4 days later, he went home to Austin, Texas, and was reunited with his daughters.
Dewey.
Don't go out to a lava field at night with just a flashlight.
By yourself with no supplies, a place you don't know.
Yeah, that was I Shouldn't Be Alive, Volcano Vacation from Hell. Yep.
A hell of his own making.
I know. Poor Dewey.
Oh my God. Well, wow, sister.
We did it.
We did it, which is no small feat right now for us.
That's right.
It was a Herculean effort.
Hercules.
What?
That's from, I think, Dr. Dolittle. Hercules.
I don't know it.
Oh, okay. Well, look it up.
You guys do all the things.
Sign up for the Patreon, the Chaos Kids Club. $5 a month.
It's $5 a month, and you get a bonus episode every month, and you get new episodes a day early, and we hang out over there. We have conversations over there. So come join the conversation.
That's right. Patreon.com, yakety-yak/thatbat, crime, wine, and chaos.
Right. You can also leave us a review like Kami Trucker did. If you have an Apple product, go to the Apple Podcast app, and you can type us up a review over there, which we would love, and we'll read it on the show. So, sister, I love you so much. That was like extra chaotic.
So chaotic.
For some reason.
Yeah, it was. Goodbye.
Bye.
Crime, Wine, and Chaos is produced by 8th Direction Records. Artwork by Joshua M. Davis. Music by Jeremy Williams. If you would like to support the show, you can visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/crime, wine, and chaos. Cheers!